To start off, let me introduce myself. My name is Danielle Slayton. I am one of the co-founders of Northern California's Pro Women's Soccer Team, AFC. I'm also a San native and a very, very proud parent of a Trace Tyler who goes to school right there. And I know today is a day of celebration, but I just want to take a quick moment just before we start, because any day when you wake up and you're having your morning coffee and you open your news and the first word you see is war, it just feels like we should take a beat for a second. And so I want to start with gratitude. I want to start with gratitude for our lives, for our privileges, for our freedom. I want to send all of my prayers out to our troops in the Middle East and, quite frankly, to anyone innocent who find themselves in harm's way. So, speaking of that,
Hôm nay là ngày 28 tháng 2, ngày cuối của tháng 2 năm 2026. Ông thị trưởng Matt Mahan của San Jose tuyên bố ra tranh cử và hôm nay tại trường Lincoln High School ở trên đường Diana 555 Diana. có một cái buổi nói chuyện gây quỹ và rất là đông những người Mỹ, người Việt, trong đó có người Việt đã đến để yểm trợ cho ông Matt Mahan tranh cử chức thống đốc của California. Chúng tôi sẽ ghi lại một số hình ảnh bắt đầu từ lúc sắp hàng bên ngoài cho tới bên trong để cùng gửi đến cho tất cả quý khán thính giả của Nam Mỹ và Việt Nam Television.
Dan is the founder of MO Hospitality and one of the entrepreneurs who has helped redefine downtown San Jose over the past decade. Through concepts like paper plane, EOS and Nix, and the upcoming Strata, he has created spaces that bring people together and reflect the creativity, the diversity of the South Bay. His company now employs more than 200 people and continues to invest in the community it calls home. Dan represents the kind of local leadership and long-term commitment that helps cities thrive. Dan?
Thank you, Danielle. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dan Fan. I was born and raised right here in San Jose. In fact, Matt and I graduated high school together 25 years ago down the street. The city has shaped me. It's given my family opportunity, and like a lot of people in this room, I chose to stay, to build something here instead of somewhere easier. I'm the founder of MO Hospitality, and over the last decade, I've built restaurants and gathering spaces in downtown San Jose, including Original Gravity, Paper Plane, Beat Boss, and Houston Nix. What started as one small idea and 10 employees has grown to a company that now employs over 200 people. But here's the truth. Building a business in California is not for the faint of heart. You're not just creating jobs, you're navigating permits, inspections, public safety, utilities, planning departments, state departments, and federal government, layers of systems that don't always talk to each other. Sometimes it can feel like you're solving a puzzle that no one's giving you the control. And that's why leadership matters. What I've seen from Matt is something rare. He understands how complex government really is. More importantly, he knows how to make it work better. He doesn't treat bureaucracy as an excuse, but he treats it as a problem to solve. Under his leadership, departments have coordinated instead of competed. Timelines have gotten clearer, expectations have gotten sharper. There's been accountability, transparency, and a focus on real outcomes. It may not be flashy, but when government works better, small business can focus on hiring people. We can focus on serving our communities. We can focus on building instead of battling the system. And that kind of leadership California needs right now. I'm not here as a politician. I'm here as someone who grew up here, invested here, employs over 200 people here, and believes that this state can work better than it does today. I've seen what practical, results-driven leadership looks like, and I believe that it's time to take that statewide. And with that, I want to get it back to Daniel. Thank you so much.
Michelle has agreed to share with us what must have been one of the worst days of her life. As she and her family were walking to school last year, just an ordinary Friday, Michelle's 15-year-old son was assaulted. His assailant was apprehended, charged with assault and a hate crime, but then released the very same day. Michelle, thank you for your mama bear strength and also for your vulnerability and willingness to share this story.
listened to me about where the gaps are in the system and plans to fill them by implementing Prop 36 to correct cycles of crime. Addiction and homelessness, to expand shelter and treatment systems so people can get the care that they need and are held accountable for turning their lives around. And that jumps out to me because, contrary to my first impression, Matt isn't an ordinary